brings his leg up over the shoulder and collarbone and then pulls down. As he pulls down, this breaks the posture of the opponent and holds the posture down so that they can't move forward. Go ahead and stack me now. It's too hard because I'm drawing him down and my hips are in a position where he can't stack me. Well, thank you, Master Rickson. So again, whenever, I just want to make sure that when I'm referring to a lesson learned by someone who's certainly put in the time and the effort, it's like making sure you reference the source when you're doing a paper. And I feel like this is a living study, a living paper. So the resource that I want to cite here is obviously Master Rickson Gracie. Longtime fan of his, and the more I get to know about his understanding of jiu-jitsu, the more respect I have for him. Just amazing. And I think he's older than I am. He's got to be close to 60, and still just a absolute amazing practitioner of jiu-jitsu. He tightened up the details on, admittedly, something I've grown to not be very fond of, which is the arm bar from the bottom. And the reason I'm not fond of that is because, if I went there just for the arm bar, I gave up a dominant position to get a bottom side arm bar. And number two, I'm throwing my leg around, and historically it can put me into a really vulnerable position for a stack. And stacking is the key to the escape of that arm bar, is to stack your opponent, slip your elbow out into a safe zone and escape. Master Rickson tightened some details, and I want to show that to you. So I want to help you see this. Mike, if I can continue. So the setup is still the same, but traditionally, the way that most of us learn to do an arm bar, a technical arm bar, is that we backstop and trap the arm, draw it across our midline, place a foot on the hip. Is this reminding you of anything? Flagpole up, turn the corner, clamp down, push the head, bring the other leg across, and finish. And in a perfect world, that's a very clean arm bar. It does work, as long as the person you're doing it to gets submitted before they stack you. And one of the problems with this is that as I push on the hip, what is going on with my hips? They're moving away from my opponent's body, giving them time as I bring my leg over. If they beat me, yes, all the strength and leverage in the world to put up a foot, to start to stack me, and to extract their arm and pass my guard. Making my life miserable, passing my guard, reversing who's in the dominant role. Master Rickson brought in this element, and I so appreciate it. He doesn't want his hips to move away at an angle where they can be easily stacked. So instead of putting a foot on the hip and shrimping out, he brings his leg up over the shoulder and collarbone and then pulls down. As he pulls down, this breaks the posture of the opponent and holds the posture down so that they can't move forward. Go ahead and stack me now. It's too hard because I'm drawing him down and my hips are in a position where he can't stack me. I have too much core and leg power to do that. So then the next movement is this, stack me. It's too late. All I have to do is extend. So by the time he can actually begin to stack, because of the angle and because my hips are positioned high, it's putting too much weight on his upper torso and his neck and not allowing him to stack, if we do this correctly. So again, it's a little bit of a paradigm change here. We're still holding the arm, but we're going straight up here, where I'm putting a reverse seat belt on, my weight and my hips, look at it. Go ahead and stack. It's much, much harder for him to fold me over. And if I simply bring my other leg over, I can break his arm. Go ahead and stack. As he pushes up to stack, I have too much strength on that elbow. That's an invisible detail. Because honestly, it still looks like I'm getting stacked. But I can tell you, I feel completely different. I feel like if I was in my gi, I'd be sliding across the floor. The only reason I'm sticking now is because I'm on my rash guard. So I could shoulder walk. But the other piece of it is because of the positioning of my hips and where I'm at over the shoulders, it's not giving them the leverage to stack me up over my head and neck.
It looks like he should be able to.
And it looks like he should be able to.
Yeah.
But because of where I'm at with my frame, come on over, Pat.
Of course I had to say it. Here, Pat, I'll show you.
So a good closed guard is where we start. We're still positioning the arm, but when I'm ready for this arm bar, it's here. There's just something about that angle.
Yeah.
So you can get stacked, but you're going to snap the arm because he's putting it in the right
As soon as
spot.
I moved, he sunk that right in.
Yeah.
And it was.
And remember, all we have to do, if he's persistent, so here we go. If he's persistent, is move my head. If he keeps stacking, he's going to go to his belly. There's no pressure on my neck.
Oh no, that was.
Oh, he had your arm still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he turned and locked that right back in. It's almost like he knows what he's doing.
It's well, thank you, Master Rickson. So we're going to practice this first time, round one, because we have to kind of unlearn a couple things, don't we? Because I've been taught to turn the angle, flagpole up. If they're not going to stack me, that may still work. All I'm saying is that as I went from blue to purple to brown, I get stacked all the time because my opponents know better. They're racing me to that position, and they've got more leverage than I do. And with my hips being placed out, it's super easy for them to cut the angle and create this bad pressure. Whereas this movement where our hips remain up and tight, up and over the shoulders, holding them down, keeping our hips up on their lap, and then just over the head, it's like pushing against a rod. Does that make sense? I think that's why it's working, because we're trying to stack, but we're driving this way on a posture that's already locked out. Whereas when I come all the way around and I'm here, well, I'm already bent. The rod is already broken. So now it's easy to drive my knees to my head. So let's slowly but carefully try that. If you feel pressure in your neck, move your neck out of the way. Move your ear to your shoulder. You'll be surprised because then it becomes a back roll. Wish I'd known that 20 years ago. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3.
Back,